Donald Trump has no compassion, nor does he have any empathy, which is exactly why I believe that Donald Trump appeals to so many miserable people in this country. And this story right here shows exactly that. A sitting U.S. congressman has a terminal heart condition. His prognosis apparently was that he would be dead by June. And this information, it was kept privately between him, his doctor, and Mike Johnson. Which means the invertebrate Mike Johnson told Daddy Trump. And of course, Trump on camera, in front of a room full of people, told the entire world he would be dead by June. A sitting congressman with private healthcare information told to the entire world that this congressman would be dead by June. Mike Johnson tried to fix it. He was sitting right next to him. And after the crowd gasped, Mike Johnson said, "Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah." A little weak there, Mike. And Trump did what he does all the time. He kept going. He told the room that it was a heart problem. He told the room the guy's name. And then he explained exactly how he felt about this congressman having a terminal disease. Number one, Trump said, it was bad because I liked him, as if he was already dead. Number two, it was bad because I needed his vote. Trump liked him and also needed his vote. In that order. Both were nearly equally important or close to it in the mind of Donald Trump. A man is terminal. And the president is up on a stage running the numbers. The world, it's just transactional to Donald Trump. Whether it's deaths or bombs or dollars or healthcare coverage, it doesn't matter. It is all just a numbers game to the president. And it's all because he's never had real world consequences for anything. So he just thinks that this is how the world works. No consequences, just a scoreboard. I want you to think about that. Think about every single policy decision that has come out of the White House through the lens of being a scoreboard. Medicaid cuts. It's not cruelty to them. It's a line item. The kids and families separated at the border. That's not a family. That's a statistic. The soldiers killed in Iran. That's not sons and daughters. It's an operational cost. When you see the world as nothing more than a scoreboard, everything and every human has a number. And to Donald Trump, the only number that matters to him is the one that gets him elected again, or gets him more power, or more money. That's the only thing that matters to Donald Trump. And frankly, none of this is getting covered the way it should. And folks like us, we need your help to keep independent media alive. So that's why I'm asking you to hit the subscribe button, hit that notification icon, drop a comment, any of it. And make sure you do the same thing for any of the independent media you follow. All of it helps tell the truth. And as for the congressman, he's Representative Neal Dunn of Florida. And apparently, through some favors from Trump, he apparently got some kind of intervention at Walter Reed. And he's doing better. Mike Johnson said that he walks around like he's 30 years younger and, quote, "We thought we'd seen a ghost." And you know what? Good. Genuinely good for Dunn. I'm glad that this man is doing better. I'm glad that he's healthier. Because I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. That is a human life that deserves to live his life to the fullest. And just because I disagree with him doesn't mean I want him dead. But the framing that Mike Johnson has been using since, the way that he's been telling this story, as if it's some inspiring tale of patriotism, it's sickening. Because to Mike Johnson, Dunn is a hero. Because he kept showing up to vote even though he was terminally ill, just so Democrats wouldn't pick up another seat. To Mike Johnson, that's heroism. Showing up to vote while dying so that the majority holds. And this guy ends up Dunn gets health care that millions of Americans can no longer afford. That's the part that doesn't sit well with me. This congressman gets Walter Reed. He gets Trump's doctors. He gets a second chance at life. And again, I am glad that he has that option. But the same party, his party, is the one voting to cut Medicaid for the people who can't afford it. They can't afford anything close to what Neal Dunn just got. The vote that Dunn has been showing up to cast, those are the votes that are cutting health care for everyday Americans. And this is exactly where we've landed as a country. I mean, look, when you dehumanize everyone and you turn everything into a scoreboard and turn every body into a transaction, it makes it really easy to treat other people like they're subhuman. Whether they look like you, vote like you, speak like you, or were born on one side of an imaginary line or the other. All of that matters to MAGA idiots more than human compassion. Remember, if this were a Democrat, do you think Donald Trump would have called in a favor with his doctors? Would Mike Johnson be praising someone for being a brave patriot working through a terminal illness? Hell no. They would have called them evil, a demon, and then they would have moved on to plotting to how to take their seat. No one, and I mean no one, matters to Donald Trump unless they help him in some way. And the neutered Mike Johnson, he gladly does the same because it's why he was elected and selected to be Speaker of the House, to be Trump's lackey. Trump needed the vote. And then he outed a man's private health story in a room full of his colleagues and immediately contextualized it in terms of a vote. This is the man that's running our country. This is the man that's starting wars. And this is the man that evangelicals are flocking to. The Jesus that these people claim to follow spent his entire life healing the sick, feeding the hungry, and defending the vulnerable. The man the evangelicals are actually following just announced a dying congressman's terminal diagnosis in public because it was a good story and he needed the damn vote.
They called it closed, filed away, forgotten. But some truths don't stay buried. Time doesn't erase guilt. A reckoning is always just around the corner. A death in Arcadia. Justice has a long memory.